Curriculum tagged assessment content is an incredibly powerful tool. On the one hand, individual assessments reveal which skills need to be addressed right here and now. And tracking that data over time gives teachers a snapshot of which skills and topics need to be addressed for the entire class and to create individualized learning plans for your students. So the first step for you is to begin building a library of curriculum tagged content by finding pre-existing content and creating your own. When you created your first class, you were given an opportunity to add courses to that class. Now when you search for resources, you have curriculum filters available to help find content that exists within the platform relevant to this class. From here, you can also add more courses to the class. It is good practice to also add curricula from previous grades in addition to the one you are currently teaching. You can work with your PLCs and curriculum teams to specifically target topics and skills at prior grade levels to prepare your students to maximize learning at the current grade level. Research suggests students struggling on current grade level assessments most likely need help on foundational skills before being reassessed at current grade level. More on this in later modules. The Mastery button up here at the top brings you to the Mastery dashboards, which of course have not yet been populated with data. But notice the courses you've added to this class are here and ready to start accepting student data. We will take an in-depth look at this with populated data in more depth in later modules. Back in the resource marketplace, we've chosen to filter Common Core ELA Grade 5 content, and we can see an assortment of quizzes that are tagged with that curriculum. Each curriculum is broken down into topics and skills to further drill down into the content you want to use. You do not have to drill down to a skill, and quiz content can have questions tagged to multiple skills under a curriculum. After you are done playing with the filters, it's time to actually take a look at some content. From here, you will want to look over the questions by scrolling through and assigning to your class if you are happy. Or you can edit your own copy so you can add, remove, or edit the questions to ensure they align with the goals of your lesson. Just make sure you rename the quiz to better reflect the changes you've made to the quiz. Now, if your search and filter does not return any results, or you are not happy with the results that do turn up, you have the ability to create your own quiz and tag to your curriculum. It is very likely you have resources at your disposal to craft your own assessments, and you can import from a spreadsheet. While it is easier to use content made by someone else, there are solid pedagogical reasons to take more ownership of your assessment content. And it is easy to import questions using a spreadsheet or from Quizlet. Studies indicate that teachers who create their own assessments have a better grasp of content knowledge, are more focused on learning outcomes, and they can anticipate and address conceptual misconceptions more effectively. But yes, it is completely understandable that creating assessments can be time-consuming regardless of the payoff. So here are a few tricks to quickly creating assessments. Again, you likely have content resources at your disposal. Adapt your questions from already existing content. Feel free to use existing content in the platform periodically and build your library of self-created material gradually over time. Many of you teach in teams, so you can divvy up quiz content creation. Just be sure to discuss the content so everyone is on the same page. Digital formative assessment is not meant to take up a large portion of your lesson, so keep each assessment to 3 to 6 questions tops, depending on what you're trying to achieve. The good news is the content is yours forever, so once you create a quiz, you then have it to use for the future. As you make your new assignment, you can tag the quiz and each question to your curriculum. Don't worry if you don't know the exact skill codes. Just start typing in the skills bar and you will find the skill most relevant to that question. We recommend grouping your questions by skill so you can take advantage of being able to tag subsequent questions to the same skill. Lastly, remember it's important to use what is available to you. And even if you can't find content tagged to your specific curriculum, that doesn't necessarily mean relevant content doesn't exist. See if the recommended content has something for you. You can further filter the recommended results using the search bar, or clear the filters and search for untagged content relevant to you. Edit a copy of the content you want to repurpose for your classroom, Clear any existing curriculum tags, re-tag to your curriculum, and change the name to reflect your changes. And don't forget that you don't need to know your skill codes. You can just start typing and pick the most appropriate skill for each question.